Question 7, the weight of vegetables transported by a farmer to a nearby market increases by 15% every month. The farmer transports 460 pounds of vegetables in April, 529 in May, 608.35 in June, and 699 in July. Approximately how many pounds of vegetables will be transported to the market in August? So there's a couple of clues that this is a geometric sequence. But let's first talk about why this isn't an arithmetic sequence. Sometimes it's easier to rule out a type of pattern than it is to rule in a pattern. So an arithmetic sequence means we have a common difference. So let's just take these numbers and write them in order here, down here. So if you're really good at mental math, you can probably see pretty quickly whether or not there's a common difference between these numbers. If you struggle with mental math, let's use the calculator to help us out. So let's find the difference between the first two terms. So what is that? 529 minus 460. So the difference between those two terms is 69. So this means that if this is an arithmetic sequence, that should be the difference between all the terms. So let's take the third term, 608.35, and subtract the second term, 529. You see, we're getting a different number. So we're decreasing by a different number, and the number's actually gotten bigger. A big clue, anytime you increase by a rate, like we do in this problem, it's going to be geometric. Because 15% of, like, we have a different number each month, so that 15 percentage points is going to change as we go month to month. So this is a geometric sequence, which means that we have a common ratio. So let's find our common ratio. That 15%, you might be able to get it just from looking at that number. But I always tell my students, just let's double check. So if we want to find the common multiplier, instead of subtracting the second term and the first term, we're going to divide. We're going to take the second term and divide the first. 529 divided by 460 is 1.15. Now let's just verify this. Let's take 460 and multiply it now by 1.15. Do we get the second term? Yeah. So our common multiplier, at least between the first two terms, is 1.15. Let's verify this. So let's take 529, our second term, and multiply it by 1.15. So 529 multiplied by 1.15, that should give me 608.35, and it does. It gives me the third term exactly. So let's go back to the problem. They actually want us to find how many pounds of vegetables will be transported to the market in August. Well, the first month was April. This was May. This was June. This is July. So we don't even need to use an explicit formula here. August is just the next month. So we're going to take July's poundage and multiply it by a common ratio of 1.15 to get our answer. So 699.6 multiplied by 1.15 gives us 804.54, which is answer choice B. Of note, 15% was the increase. We're multiplying by a common ratio of 1.15. As long as we're increasing, that is how you would get R. The ratio is always just going to be 1 plus whatever the percentage divided by 100 is. If we were, and this is the case if it's increasing, which they clearly tell us we are increasing. if we're decreasing by a certain percentage to get R, we're just going to take 1 minus the percentage divided by 100.